Hello everyone. Welcome for our next 150 must do questions session. So let's get into it straight away. Right. So what we are, I think, less than 2 minutes, practically speaking, in terms of the exam. Right. Although we'll be giving a lot of exams, but CAT is always, the center piece of all the examinations that we're going to give because it gives us the opportunity to the maximum number of colleges, right? So therefore we should give our best. It is high time that we are exposed to quality problems, and that's what this session is all about, bringing you questions which are the most relevant, right? And also questions which test us in new ways, right? So all that is going to be uh, coming up for you, right? So let's see one by one, question by question. It's a mixed bag of questions across all the topics. Fine, let's get into it right away. Here we go. Question number one, ratios. All right. So the way we do this session is I give you a few seconds to look at the problem to get the sense of the problem while I'm not speaking, so you get to understand the problem. Then we start trying it all together, and try to give me the answers on the chat box. I am going to declare the names of all those people who get the correct answer, right? So giving you a few seconds to look at this one to try it. Okay, here we go. All right, so I hope you're trying. As soon as you get the answers, do let me know. So here it is. So as you can understand, and it is there is this ratio given to us. We have to decode that, and then we have to interpret the correct statement from the options, right? Each stick is measured for how much shorter it is compared to the total length of the other two sticks. So there are three sticks. Let's say their lengths are ABC. They can enclose a triangle, right? So in a triangle, if the sides are ABC, we know that any side is always less than the sum of the other two sides. So it is this difference which is calculated for each side, and that ratio of those differences turns out to be 5:7:9. So if the sides are A, B, C, then for the side A, the difference would be B plus C minus A. That is uh, equivalent to 5 in ratio. So let's say this is 5 times some ratio constant K. In this way, by taking ratio constant K, we can define the three differences as 5K, 7K, 9K. We can write the equations for that, right? Likewise, for the side B, the difference of the excess of the other two sides with respect to this side becomes A plus C minus B, right? And that is 7K. And likewise for the side C, the sum of the other two sides, A plus B, is how much more than the third side C? The difference that is given as 9K. So the idea is to get the ratio of A's to B's to C, the lengths of the three sticks, right? And then we can compare that which option matches. I'm still searching for your answers. No response on the chat box. Okay, time has been given enough, right? So now we are not only be going to test us on accuracy, but actually more on the timing, right? Accuracy, everybody can solve all the 20 questions if you given 2 hours, right? It's about those 40 minutes, how many you can do. So be quick, give me the answers. You can do this. So adding the three equations will help us because we'll get a symmetric result. Like for example, A minus A plus A. So A will come once, likewise B, likewise C. So that comes to be 5, 7, 12, 9, 21K. So therefore, by taking the difference of each equation from this result, we can get the value of each of the variables. For example, this result minus the first equation. So A minus of minus A, 2A, and B plus C cancels. So we're getting 2A is 21 minus 5, 16k. So A is 8k. Likewise, taking the reference of this from the second equation, so we'll get 2b is 21k minus 7k, which is 14k. So therefore, b comes to be 7k. And since a plus b plus c is 21, so a plus b is 8 plus 7, 15. 15 plus 6 is 21. So c comes to be 6k. So the ratio of the three sides is 8 is to 7 is to 6. Right? So therefore, which result is correct? The longest stick is, let's say, 8k in length. So is 8k, how much is it long? How much percentage it is longer than the smallest stick? So 8 is how much percentage more than 6? 2 on 6, 1 by 3, 33.33%, not 50%. So first option A is not correct. Smallest stick, which is 6k, is 25% shorter than the longest. 6 is how much percentage less than 8? 2 on 8, so 1 on 4, 25% less. Yes, that is a correct comparison. So B option is correct, isn't it, people? So carefully we had to understand the meaning of the statements which creates these equations. Basically, each stick is measured for how much shorter it is compared to the total length of the other two sticks. So sum of the other two lengths minus this length, third length, that differences are given for each of the three sides, and their ratio was given 5 to 7 to 9. So take three variables for the three side lengths, create these equations, solve for the ratio of ABC, get this ratio, and then match with the options. So even though it's a question only on ratios, but you see, so many steps have to be taken one after the other carefully. That is what this exam is all about, isn't it? It's high time that we are preparing ourselves for those questions which are layered questions. They do require us to do one things, I mean, at least two or three steps, isn't it? All right, ready for next one? Second one, profit loss. Again, giving you a minute to try. You can do this, I know. All right, let's jump in. So it's a classic question wherein only some percentage figures are given. As such, no numeric values are given. It's a question of profit and loss, but no monetary values are given. Nothing about the quantity, how many mangoes this did Giriraj had with him to sell in kilograms or anything, nothing like that, right? So whenever these things are there, data is not there. The traditional way is to assume some values, okay, to work with. Either you have to assume variables or numbers or values, right? So I'll take the value based approach. I'll assume that Giriraj had a, let's say, 100 kg of mangoes to sell. Let's say he had 100 kgs of mangoes to sell, and let's say his cost price was, let's say, 1 rupee per kg. Okay, now I know this is very ludicrous, right? They are never less than 100 bucks, but it's just maths, right? It doesn't matter, right? So one is just a notional value. Cost price is 101 rupees per kg, so total CP is simply 100 rupees. Total CP is simply 100 rupees, 100 into 1. So by selling 75%, means 75 kg of the mangoes, the total cost got recovered. Means he was selling at certain selling price, let's say that, call it as X. So it is such that by selling 75 kg of mangoes, he got 100 bucks. He got his cost back. So therefore, what is given is that 75 kg of mangoes, the selling price of that, which is 75x, equals the total CP, which is 100. So we are getting from here the value of X, which is 100 by 75, or further we can simplify this as 4 by 3. So he was selling at this rate of 4 by 3 rupees per kg, right? That was his selling rate. Now, the question does not stop there. The remaining lot means 25 kgs, was sold in bulk to a restaurant at 75% of the earlier selling price. So the new selling price, which is meant on specially for the restaurant because they are buying in bulk, right? Whenever somebody buys in bulk, they always ask for discount, isn't it? So they asked for 25% discount. Give me at 75% of what you were selling earlier. So 75% of X is the new selling price for the restaurant. 75% is nothing but 3/4. So 3/4 of X. And X is nothing but 4 by 3. So 3, this comes to be 3 by 4 into 4 by 3, which is 1 rupee per kg. So effectively, he is selling back at his original cost price. He's selling cost to the restaurant. And how much kg? What quantity is sold to the restaurant? 25 kg. So how much revenue he'll get from selling these mangoes to the restaurant? Simply 25 into 1 rupees per kg. So this will be, he'll get 25 rupees as his revenue. So it is this 25 rupees which is his profit, because earlier he just recovered his cost price of 100 rupees. Now his 25 rupees becomes the profit. So effectively, what is his profit percentage? That is what is being asked. Simply 25%, right? That's what he made out, right? The profit percentage made by Pankaj in selling all the mangoes is 25%. I think just a small typo here. It starts from Giriraj, ends in Pankaj. Just a small typo there. Don't mind. Uh, but the answer is 25%. All right. So now I know a lot of people are there in the session who are sitting quietly, not giving me the answers. I know you can do this. We have many questions to go. People, buck up. You can do this. Okay, let's see the next one. Will you give me the answers? Promise? Here we go. Okay, I'll give you a minute to try this. Time and work. All right, let's see. People who have attended my last session, right? Um, if you recall, then try to use a similar approach. Those who have attended my session will know this, what I'm talking of, because we did a question on time and work last time as well. I'm hinting towards my style of LCM approach. All right, so I've given you some head start. So if you get the answer, do let me know. Now, here it is. When A, B, C work together, A and B together do 75% of the work, while A alone does thrice the work contributed by B. So the second part of the sentence basically tells me that the ratio of the work efficiency of A and B is 3:1. A's work rate is thrice of that of B. So if the work rate of A is 3 units, then work rate of B is 1 unit per day. Let's call that 3 and 1. This is the work rate which I'm trying to say. Whereas this work done by A and B together, which is 3 plus 1, 4 units, is a 75% of the total work. So the remaining 25% is done by C. So 3 plus 1, 4 units is 3/4 of the total work. So total work is coming here in fraction, because 3 is equal to 3 by 4 into something. So that something is 3 into 4 by 3. So I'll need to divide by 3. Right? 4 into 4 by 3, right? What I'm saying, this 3 plus 1, 4 units of work is 3/4 of the total work. So I'm getting a fraction over here because I need to divide by 3. So let me rather do one thing. Let me multiply these numbers which I've assumed by a factor of 3, so that this fraction will not come. Right? So whenever I'm assuming some numbers and I realize that I'm going to get into fraction, I avoid that fraction by doing this. So I wrote 3:1. I can write it as 9:3. It's one and the same thing. Effectively, it's the ratio which matters, right? So I've just multiplied the values by a factor of 3, so that now I'll not get into fraction. So 9 plus 3, 12 units of work, which is done by A and B, is 3/4 of the total work So the total work is coming to 12 into 4 by 3, which is 4 into 4, 16. So total work is done in 16 units. And therefore, the remaining 4 units is done by C. So that this ratio which I have now got of 9 is to 3 is to 4 of work rate for ABC is justifying the given statement, right? A and B are now doing 12 units of work, which is 75% of 16 units, right? And A is doing thrice of the work contributed by B. So just interpreting the percentage and ratio based statements to get this. Hence, project completion 45 days. So let me define this as the work rate itself: 9 units, 3 units, and 4 units, respectively, for ABC. If I assume these values themselves to be the work rate, then my total works get defined such that I know that this work is now done in 45 days. This is, I've assumed the work rate in terms of number of units of work done per day. So work is rate into time. Rate is the combined rate of ABC, which is 9 plus 3 plus 4, into the time, which is 45 days. So 9 plus 3, 12, plus 4, 16. 16 into 45. 16 into 2, 90. 90 into 8, 720. So this is 720 units of work. So this is the LCM approach. Whenever you assume either the total work as a number or the work rate as a number, it's the LCM approach, right? This is what I'm saying. And we did a similar question last time. Hence, in how many days can now? So we have defined the total work and also we have defined the work rates respectively. Now we can solve the question very easily. In how many days can the same project be completed if B and C work on all the 3 days while A assists them every third day? So in a 3-day cycle, what happens is A works for 3 days because A works for only 1 day because he is only coming on the third day. Whereas B and C, both of them come for all the 3 days. So how much work is done in a span of 3 days? How much work is done in a span of 3 days? Work is done is 1 day of work of A, which is 9 units, and 3 days each for B and C. So B and C are doing 3 plus 4, 7 units of work per day. So in 3 days, they will do 7 into 3, 21 units. 21 plus 3, 21 plus 9, they are doing a total of 30 units of work in a span of 3 days. Remember, okay? So how many such repetition of 3 days will need to occur so that 720 is work is done? How much? 30 into 24 is 720. So this cycle of 20 of 3 days needs to repeat itself 24 times, right? 30 units work done in 3 days. So 30 into 24 is 720, the total work. Hence 24 days need to hence 3 days need to repeat themselves 24 times. So 24 into 3, 72 days that the work can be finished. Isn't it, people? Give me a yes or no. Give me a hands up. Just let me know, is everybody attentive in the session? Let me see your on the chat box. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Just so that we are all together. Yes, got this, people. Give me yes, right? Correct. Can we move on? Any doubts, do let me know. We can repeat. You can even ask me a doubt from the previous questions that we have done, right? This is a live session. That's the the whole agenda is we are interacting. Yes, Abhigyan, thank you. Okay. I hope you'll want to try the next one, something on time and distance coming up. Okay, so it's a little bit elaborate question. Hence, I'll give you, let's say, around 2 minutes to try. Let me give you some fair amount of time to try. Okay. All right, so you got some time to try, right? So keep on trying, and I am starting to discuss. If you get the answer, do let me know. So there is a journey that is happening over here from point A to B for two buses. The bus starting from city A comes at a speed of 60 kmph, right? So this bus from here is coming at 60 kmph, and this bus from the other side from B is coming at 40, right? After they cross, so okay, so the speed is given, but distance is not, and that is exactly what we have to find. How far is city A from city B? After they cross, the bus from city A reduces its speed by da, 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 and city B increases by da, da, da. Okay, so the main thing is we don't know the total distance. Now, instead of taking the total distance as a variable, what I would want to do is I know that both the buses start together, right? And so when they meet, they have traveled each of them for the same amount of time. So it is that time that I would want to take as a variable, because if I take that time as a variable, then the distance automatically gets defined in terms of that, because the speed is given at least, right? So obviously the bus A will cover 60% of the total distance, because the distances will covered by the two buses in the ratio of their speeds. Whenever two objects are moving for the same time, distance covered is in the same ratio as the ratio of their speeds. Hence, somewhere, let's say around here at a 60% mark, so this is the meeting point M, let's say, right? This bus having traveled for, let's say, t hours, this distance becomes 60t, and the bus from city B having traveled for also t hours, this distance becomes 40t. So the total distance becomes 100t. So my answer is the value of 100t. That is the total distance of the journey. It is this t which I have to find. Now, finding that is not very direct. We have to still work further on the given conditions. After they cross, the bus from city A reduces its speed by 20%. So the bus coming from city A, let's call this, name these buses. Let's call this bus X, and call this bus as Y. So the bus X, what is its speed now? Now it will move at a speed of 20% less. So 80% of 60, which is 48 kmph. And the bus from city B, which is the bus Y. What about bus Y? Its speed will increase by 20%. So 1.2 times of 40, 48. Oh, both the buses now have the same speed effectively, 48 each. Now, so with the same speed, the bus X has to travel a shorter distance, only 40t. Hence, it will take lesser time, and that difference in time is given as 1 hour 15 minutes, right? So we can now create the equation for this difference in time. So the time for bus Y is 1 hour 15 minutes more than the time taken for bus X. So Ty, time of bus Y, minus Tx, time of bus X, is this 1 and 15 minutes is 1/4 of an hour. So 1 and 1/4 of an hour, or 5 by 4 hours. So what is the time for bus Y? The bus Y has to cover the distance of 60t at its speed of 48. So 60t by 48. Whereas the bus X has to cover only the distance of 40t. So 40t by 48, this difference, which is nothing but 20t by 48, or 20 by 48 of t, is therefore 5 by 4 hours. Okay, simplifying gives 4 cancels 12, 5 cancels 4, 4 by 12 is 1 by 3. So yeah, so t by 3 is 1, or so t is coming to be 3 hours. So 3 hours. So therefore, the total distance is 100t, which is 100 into 3, 300 kilometers is the journey, right? So people, I'm putting forward quite doable problems, right? Why? So I would expect responses, huh? So buck up. We can do this, right? I know that all of us know how to do these questions, but see, the whole agenda of a live session is to test ourselves in the timed environment. Okay, any doubts, do let me know, else we'll move on to the next one. I'm constantly on available on the chat box, so just let me know anything you have to ask. Here we go with the next one. Okay, so let's do one thing. Let me straight away take this one. And if you get the answer faster than me, do let me know. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this question is about solution A, B, C and liquids 1, 2, 3. Okay, uh, we are mixing these solutions A, B, C, and something is given. We have to find that what ratio they were mixed. So it's a kind of a backward question of, in what ratio they were mixed, right? By mixing them in certain ratio which you have to figure out, the final ratio something is given over here as 4 is to 5 is to 6. Okay, so now the point is, my dear friends, we know that there is something called as alligation rule, and it is applied whenever, it's the backward question of in what ratio the solutions were mixed. But I hope you are also aware that that alligation rule is only applicable as so far when we are mixing two things. If you are mixing more than two liquids or solutions, then there is no alligation rule that is applicable, or we cannot apply it, because that crisscross difference concept only applies when there are two things being mixed, isn't it? So how to deal with this one? We have to do this question from a basic approach, let's say by taking variables, framing equations for the given conditions, and trying to find what we have to. All right, so just take it as it comes. Solution A has, so let me first note the things, because there is a lot of data in this problem. So there is solution A, B, C, okay, and they have liquids 1, 2, 3. I'm just writing L1, L2 and L3 for the three liquids. So in solution there is only liquid 1 and 2, there is nothing of liquid 3, and they are in the ratio of 2 is to 3. So let's say this is 2x and 3x in quantity, right? So the total volume of solution A that we've taken is 5x. Why I'm noting this total volume? Because you have to find this ratio in which the solutions are combined. So we have to find their total volumes, ratio of their total volumes. So it is this 5x and so on, whose ratio we have to find. Likewise, in solution B, there is nothing called as liquid 1. It has liquids 2 and 3 in the ratio of 1 is to 2. So 1 is to 2, if this is y, this is 2y, total of 3y. Solution C has nothing of liquid 2. It has liquids 3 and 1 in the ratio of 3 is to 2. So if this is 3z, then this is 2z, total of again 5z. So what is asked? What we have to find? We have to find the ratio, which is 5x ratio 3y ratio 5z. This is the ratio that we have to find. Right? So I have defined the variables, I have identified the objective. Now I will jump to framing the equations based on this ratio of 4 is to 5 is to 6. The three solutions are combined, so that ratio of liquids 1, 2, 3 is 4 is to 5 is to 6. So how much of total of liquid 1 has been taken? 2x plus 2z. So the ratio is 4, 5, 6. So I will take the total volume of liquids 1, 2, 3 respectively as 4k, 5k, 6k, right? So I can create some equations over here. 2x plus 2z, the total volume of liquid 1, L1, is like 4k, is my first equation. The total volume of liquid 2, which is now 3x plus y, and that is 5k from the ratio, right? Yes or no? And likewise for liquid 3, the total is 2y plus 3z, and that is how much? That is 6k. So it is these three equations which we have to solve and then get some relation between x, y, z. So basically we have to solve for x, y, z in terms of k. It's three variables, three equations, just solving that. Let's do one thing. I can see y is only having coefficient of 1 over here in the second equation. So I will replace y as 5k minus 3x in some other equation, let's say in the third equation. So substituting y equals 5k minus 3x in the third equation, I can say that twice of y, which is right 10k minus 6x plus 3z is 6k, right? Or I can say that 10k minus 6k, 4k will come. So 6x minus 3z, 6x minus 3z is therefore 4k. Sorry, 10 minus 6k, 4k, 6x minus 3z. Okay, so now in the first and the third equation, on this equation that we have now got, the first equation also has x and z, the second, this one also. So we can now say, okay, 2x I can see there, here I can see 6x. So let's multiply the first equation by 3 to eliminate x. So I can write that 6x plus 6z by multiplying the first equation with 3 equals 12k, right? Multiplying the first equation by 3 and then subtracting. So 6x cancels, 6z minus 3z plus 9z. 6z plus 3z, 9z is 12 minus 4k, which is 8k. I'm getting z as 8 by 9k. I'm getting my z as 8 by 9k. Okay, finally, here from here, I think we can start to get things. Put this back in the second equation where we said that y is 5k minus 3x. Okay, I think we have to first find x because now I don't know x. Okay, so from the first equation itself, where we have x plus z is 2k basically. So x is 2k minus z, therefore from the first equation, x plus z is 2k. So x is 2k minus z, or 2k minus 8 by 9k. 9 into 2, 18 minus 8, 10 by 9k. So x is coming to be 10 by 9k. Hence, y is 5k minus 3x. So 3x becomes 10 by 3k. So this becomes 10 by 3k. 50 minus 10, this is 40 by 3k. Right? This is 40 by 3k. Hence, we had to find this 5x, 3y, 4z, 5z, 5x. X is 10 by 9. 5x becomes 50 by 9k. 3y. Y is 40 by 3. So this becomes 40k. And 5z. Z is 8 by 9. So 8 into 5, 40 by 9k. Right? This was y was 40 by 3k, right? Yeah. No, this was x was, just a second. This was 10x, 3x, right? Y was 5k minus 3x. X was 10 by 9, so 10 by 3. So 50 minus 10, 40 by 3k, correct. So 3y is 40k. 5x is 50 by 9k. 5z. Z is 8 by 9. So this is 40 by 9k, correct? Okay, so this is 50 by 9, this is 40, this is 40 by 9. Just a second, something seems amiss. Just a second, let me clear this a little bit. I think something we have done a bit wrong over here. Let me just redo this. Just a second. Just 1 second. Now, let's just check this. So, yeah, so z was 8 by 9k. So from the first equation, x plus z is 2k. So x is 2k minus z, right? And z is 8 by 9. So this is 8 by 9. So 9 into 2, 18 minus 8. This is 10 by 9k, right? X is 10 by 9k, perfect. And y is 5k minus 3x. So 3x is 10 by 3k. So this is 50 minus 10. This is 40 by 3k, right? And therefore, our 5x is 50 by 9k. 3y is 40k. 5z is 40 by 9k, right? So if we multiply with 9, we are getting 50 is to 40 into 9 is to 40. Something is wrong. Just 1 second. Something is wrong. Just 1 second. Z is 8 by 9 of k, right? X is therefore from the first equation 2x minus z, which is 2x minus 8 by 9, 10 by 9, and then y is 5k minus of 3x, which is 10 by 3k. Oh, so this is 15k minus 10. This is 5 by 3k. Y is 5 by 3k over here, isn't it? 15 minus 10, this is 5 by 3k. So therefore, when I say 3y here, this is 5k. So when I multiply here by 9, this becomes 50. This becomes 5 into 9, 45, and this becomes 40. So 45 is to 40, 50 is to 45 is to 40, and which becomes on cancelling 5, 10 is to 9 is to 8. That is the required ratio. So we had to carefully work with the, you know, so as I was saying that we in this question we had to carefully create the equations for the given ratio and just take the variable, right? We cannot apply anything called as alligation principle, because that is only applicable so far where we are mixing two solutions. If there are, means whenever there are two constituents involved at the best, then we can use the alligation rule. We cannot use the alligation rule when there are three things involved. So the three solutions had two liquids in them, and each solution had a different pair of liquids in them, because we overall we had three liquids. So we had to take three variables, create the equations in this way, and then solve for the required ratio, right? So that's a very different question, right? Okay, so yes, Suraj, I'm sure there are other methods, and that is, always there are multiple solutions to any problem. So I would be happy that you can, share your solution or your method, right? For me, what works is, like whenever I'm given some ratios, I take the ratio constants. I then, like 2 is to 3, so I take 2x, 3x. 1 is to 2, so I take y and 2y, right? So that's the way, the first thing that strikes to me, right? And this is one of the many ways, I think, and there can be other ways, uh, right? But those solutions, I mean, this is something that strikes first of all, right? Whenever somebody looks at the question with ratios being given, take the variables, create the equations around them, right, and further solve, right? Okay, now, okay, so something on geometry, people. Next one. And one more thing, Suraj, it takes time because I was explaining to everyone, right? While you're doing on your own, obviously you can do fast, right? Okay, so something on geometry in the figure, equilateral triangle D. So figure is given. We have to find some ratio over here also, right? An equilateral triangle DEF we can see is inscribed in another equilateral triangle ABC, and this angle DEC is given as 90. We have to find the ratio of area of the triangle BFD, which is shaded over here, uh, to that of triangle ABC. Right. So basically, that shaded gray region is how much in fraction with respect to the entire triangle. Now, therefore, what to do? What to do? Well, let's solve. Okay. So if you get this faster than me, let me know. Here we go. What I'll take is I'll take the side of the small triangle FDE as A. Okay. This is A. This is A. This is A. Smaller equilateral triangle I'm taking. Then I will work further outwards in the figure. This angle is 90. This angle has to be 60 because it's equilateral triangle. So this angle over here is 30. Since DF is equilateral, so this has to be 60. So 60 plus 30, 90. So that also must be 90 over here. If this is 90, again, this has to be 60 because this is equilateral. So 90, 60, this is also 30. If this is 30, this is also 60 because this is equilateral, 36 to 90. So this also has to be 90. This is 90. This has to be 60 because this is equilateral. So this has to be 30. My point is, in this figure, all these outer triangles BFD, DEC, and AFE are congruent 30, 60, 90 triangles. They are congruent 30, 60, 90 triangles, right? So I will use that geometry. I know that the ratio of the sides of 30, 60, 90 triangles, the ratio of the sides is 1 is to root 3 is to 2, right? So DEC, look at triangle DEC, where opposite to 60 degree, we have side A. 60 degree opposite A. So 90 degree opposite DC should be how much? My objective is to try to find BC. So first I'll find DC, then I'll find BD. So what is DC opposite to 90 degree? So root 3 is to 2 is the ratio. So can I say 90 degree side should be 2 by root 3 times of 60 degree side? So this side DC, can I say, should be 2 by root 3 times of A, agree? Right? So DC is 2 by root 3 of A. Root 3 is to 2. So 2 by root 3 times of this side A, right? Likewise in triangle BFD, this side A, which is FD, is opposite to 60 degree. So opposite to 30 degree, what about BD? 60 degree, 30 degree, root 3 is to 1. So 30 degree side should be 1 by root 3 times of 60 degree. So this side should be A by root 3. So therefore, how much is BC, which is the side of the whole equilateral triangle? The BC, which is the side of the larger equilateral triangle ABC, is coming to be 2 by root 3 of A, DC, plus another A by root 3. So this is 3A, 2A plus A, 3A by root 3, or simply root 3A. Wow. Okay. So therefore, we are asked for the ratio of triangle BFD's area to ABC area. So what about BFD area? BFD is a right angled 30, 60, 90 triangle. Area of right angle triangle is half base into height. So its area becomes half into base, which is BD, which is A by root 3, into the height, which is FD, which is simply A. So this is half into A by root 3 into A. And this is simply equilateral triangle. So its area is root 3 by 4 into side square, and side is root 3A. So root 3A whole square becomes 3A square. A square cancels. Okay, so this is 1 by 2 root 3 is coming here. And from here into this 4 comes over above into 4 by 3 root 3. So this 2 will cancel. So 2 by 3 into root 3 into root 3. So root 3 into root 3 is 3. 3 into 3 is 9. So our answer, my dear friends, is option D, 2 is to 9. 30, 60, 90 triangle geometry had to be carefully applied. You had to start from the innermost triangle and then work outwards to figure out the side of the whole equilateral, larger equilateral triangle in terms of that side of the smaller equilateral triangle that you had assumed. Right. So I think a very classic question making use of some basic triangle properties that are often tested. All right. Okay. So I am looking for out your responses, people. I know you are there. You're with me, but I haven't got an answer from you so far. Sir, how did we find the area of ABC? ABC is equilateral triangle of, right. So for ABC, we derived its side as root 3A. So ABC is equilateral. That's given. Both the triangles ABC and DF are equilateral, na? So ABC's area becomes root 3 by 4 into side square, the formula for the area of equilateral triangle, right? And its side was root 3a. Hence, this is what we have written over here, root 3 by 4 into this 3a square is whole square of root 3a, right? Okay, so we have still a few questions to go. Okay, next one, linear equations. Sharma and Verma gave an aptitude test. Okay, let me give you a minute to think on this. Now this is a trick question. The time I've given you is sufficient to answer this question. I have put this question with a very specific reason. A lot of time, a lot of time, some questions come in the exam with a lot of information, with lot of data, with lot of statements, and lengthy question to read also. But if you look at if you jump to first of all read the question, what the question is asking is actually very simple and does not require to make use of all the given information. In simple terms, sometimes the question gives us useless information, and that is what this question is all about exactly. Right? Uh, you see, when somebody is scoring 75, 85% marks, right? They are six more than the passing score. So if there is a passing score to be obtained, let's say P, okay, from that score, you do plus 6, you reach to P plus 6, you're at 85%. I'm just looking at the last statement. I'm just looking at this 85% he gets. I'm just looking at it's 6 more than the passing score. I'm not looking at everything else. I'm not looking at this marking scheme 1 and 1 by 3. I'm not looking at this 20% he got wrong, 10% goes wrong. I'm just looking at I need what is the passing percentage. I'm just focusing on passing percentage. If passing percentage, whatever is the passing score, P. So P plus 6 gives me 85%. And look at the other person who scored 70% of the maximum marks, which is 3 less than the passing score. So P minus 3, a score of P minus 3 is a percentage of 70%. What should be the passing percentage? Isn't this split on either side in the ratio of 1 is to 2? This is a difference of 3, this is a difference of 6, right? There's a gap of 3 marks, there's a gap of 6 marks. So the gap in marks, which is in the ratio of 1 is to 2, 3 and 6 marks, should also be the gap in terms of the percentage. So this gap of percentages between 70% and 85%, which is 50%, will be split in the ratio of 1 is to 2. So this should be a 5% of difference, this should be a 10% of difference, or simply 70 plus 5, 75% is a passing percentage for the exam. That's it. It's a 1 minute question. People, why did you not give me the answer? I know this question. I mean, you can solve it and solve everything else. How many questions did they score? Did they attempt? Create the equation on this 10% going wrong? Blah blah blah. Is it really required? No. Try to understand. Sometimes questions are pushing us against a wall, forcing us to do things which are not required. Look at the objective of the question. It's a 1 minute question. If you jump to read what is being asked first instead of reading the entire statement, done. Next one. Are you with me or not? Give me a yes or no. Give me a yes or no. Are you with me? Do you understand this is a trick question? Do you understand what is the trick? Look at the objective. Don't solve everything. Just solve what is being asked. That's it. Give me yes or no. Yes or no. Yeah. Yes, that is what is this is exactly. Okay, right. Let's take the last question, people, for today's session. Now, you have been with me, I know, so far. You have been attentive, but my chat box is empty in terms of not having any answer. So I'll give you 2 minutes properly to try this question. Okay, I will not go like that. मैं एक आंसर तो आपसे लेकर के जाऊंगा, ये आपसे हो जाना चाहिए. ठीक है, पीएनसी का क्वेश्चन है. प्लीज ट्राई. Giving you 2 minutes. It's a doable one. It's not very difficult. Okay, so I'll start. Still waiting for your answers. Let's see. So 4-digit numbers having two pairs of repeating digits means the number has, let's say, digits in the form of, let's say, two digits are A and B. So A will repeat twice AA and B will repeat twice BB in some order. So the digits are in this form, right? The ordering could be anything. It could be ABAB, it could be BABA, it could be AA BB, it could be BBAA, it could be ABAB, it could be BABA. So all those orderings are there. Apart from the fact that what values could A and B take. The point is, if let's say one of them is zero, then you cannot freely arrange them, right? You cannot have AABB if A is zero. So free arrangement is not allowed when one of them is zero. But if none of them are zero, if both of them are non-zero digits, then they can be freely arranged. So the arrangement has a restriction. It depends on whether one of the digits is zero or not. So obviously we have to do case formation. Case one, none of these two digits are zero. So A and B are selected from the digits which is from 1 to 9. So it's a classic question of arrangement. And remember, arrangement is a two-step process. Arrangement is selection followed by arrangement, or you can say permutation is a two-step process. Selection of the objects to be arranged followed by arrangement is permutation. So this is a classic question where you have to first decide how to select and then you have to arrange what you have selected. So from the 9 digits, you select two digits A and B in 9C two ways. Then you arrange them AABB, four objects, two objects repeated twice. So divide by 2 factorial, divide by 2 factorial. 9C2 ways to select A and B. Then AABB can be arranged in 4 factorial. Total number of objects is 4. Divide by 2 factorial because A repeats twice, B repeats twice. 9C2 is 9 into 8 by 2. So 9 into 4, 36. 4 factorial is 24. 24 by 4 is 6. So 36 into 6, these are 216 numbers. Case 1, we have 216 numbers. Case 2. 0 is one of the selected digits. So let's say the digits are now A0, 0 are the digits. Now we still have to select A. So 9C1 ways to select the value of A. Obviously, A can't be 0. You cannot have a number 0000. It's not a 4-digit number, right? So at most, one of A and B could be 0. So if B is 0, then the digits become AA00. Then A can be selected in 9 ways, 9C1. And then how many ways we can arrange AA00? The thousands place digit must be A. The other three places, one of them has to be 0. So 3 ways that you can decide where 0 will come. Once you have decided where 0 will come, then everything else is A. So 3 ways to arrange. So 9 into 3, 27 numbers, 216 plus 27. So that is 243 is the answer. Give me a thumbs up, isn't it? Yes or no? It's a classic question where you have to understand the restriction of 0, how 0 creates its restriction, right? So although question does not explicitly as such looks to be mentioning any condition, but the default restriction in any number formation algorithm is that the leading place digit can never be 0. So you have to form the cases based on 0, whether it is there or not amongst the pool of digits that we have to arrange. All right, so this was this session, people. I hope this was point one fun because we came across new style of questions. Point two, threw us new challenges, right? Which is what we have to, you know, always look out for. We have to keep looking to attack new challenges, right? It's not about, okay, I've done this, now I can only do this. You have to expand your horizons. You have to keep on thinking and looking at new style of questions. That's what is always one of the themes, because not every question is absolutely new, but some questions you will come across in the exam which are, okay, I have seen similar question before, and those are the ones you should be trying. But you should also keep on expanding your horizon, keep on thinking new about a new style of questions, right? Keep on challenging yourselves. So that is uh, what I always try to bring. Okay, so with that, these sessions are going to prolong regularly, as you know. We earlier used to meet at 8:30. Now we are going to meet at 1 p.m. At 8:30, we will have the special session for NMAT that will be starting up as well very soon, right? So therefore, looking forward to see you next time once again. All right. So thank you so much, people. Uh, and just to remind you that Career Launcher mobile app is available in case you are not aware. That is one of the many ways you can connect with us, right? So make use of this app uh, as part of your preparation. Thank you, people. Thank you so much. See you next time. Thank you.